Hello, I'm Dennis Gist, and I'm here to introduce the second in a series of interviews with Able Seaman Jerry Shepherd. In this installment, Jerry discusses where he was and how he felt when the first atomic bomb was detonated in World War II.
We welcome back Jerry Shepherd, who is an able seaman in the Royal Australian Navy. Today, Jerry will be sharing his memories when the bomb was dropped in Japan. He'll also talk about his feelings and his family and what he actually saw whilst serving in Japan. He'll also discuss his position of his ship when the bombs fell, and we will look forward to hearing all the stories that Jerry has today. And we'll start with the story when you arrived in Japan.
When you're in the services, you are taught to fight. Your way of life is to fight. And upon the dropping of the 2 atomic bombs on Japan, one's life had made such a dramatic change. Of course, to cease fighting gave one an enormous sense of relief. A disastrous dropping of the 2 atomic bombs gave one an ugly feeling about what the world is coming to. Being amongst the first to go ashore in Tokyo, the scene was absolutely unbelievable. Tokyo, the capital of Japan, was absolutely annihilated. After the Americans bombed Tokyo to the ground, they dropped incendiary bombs and burnt Tokyo to the ground.
Thank you, Jerry. So when you actually saw that the bombs were dropped, what was your feeling? What was the thoughts on the ship at that time with your Navy crew?
Well, we were all in a mixed situation in that, yes, the end of the war had come and all the stress of war came to immediate end, and yet at the same time it was a nasty thing for the Japanese to suffer the 2 bombs on them, the 2 atomic bombs, and you did feel somewhat guilty to be a part of Japan having the bombs dropped. So in one sense, bringing the end of the war gave one a sense of relief. There's no pressure on you anymore. And on the other hand, you did feel sorry for the hundreds of thousands of Japanese that were killed by the bombs, atomic bombs.
Thank you, Jerry. So when you were talking about the HM Bataan that you were on,
yes.
Where were you positioned when you were seeing all this?
We were in Manila Bay. Within a day or so of the bombs being dropped, the Japanese sent 2 Japanese envoys to Manila to discuss the terms of surrender. So we were somewhat privileged to feel as if we were part of the beginning of the end of the war.
That's right. Yeah. And when that discussion was happening, were you able to communicate anything back to your family?
No, there was no mail. I think perhaps the government didn't want the Australian public to know that during the war so much is withheld from the Australian public, and I think it needed them to formulate how they were going to go about it. That takes a day or 2 to formulate.
Yes, I see. And just the memory that you have of that woman you saw with her child, could you share that with us, please?
I saw large pictures that have never been published in the West and never shall be. One picture in particular is indelible in my mind. It shall remain in my mind. This large photo of a Japanese mother lying naked on the Hiroshima ground from the blast. She was breastfeeding her baby with the mother's skin fused to her baby, and the baby's skin was fused to the mother, with big black holes throughout their bodies. An American physicist that helped to develop the atomic bombs wrote a book titled Brighter Than 1,000 Suns. He was aghast that his country, America, had dropped the 2 atomic bombs.
Well, look, thanks, Jerry. That's very insightful, and we all know that war is terrible. Thank you for your time again today, Jerry.
Thank you very much, Deborah.
Thank you all for listening, and I hope that you can join us for our 3rd podcast with Jerry to discuss more of his stories. Thank you.